welcome back to the Left Out podcast. We're so excited to have you guys back listening. It's your girl Chira, your local stallion.
That shit is never gonna go away.
Never.
It's your girl Naz.
And it's your girl Febs. Today is an exciting day because we have our first official guest, our girl Nigz. Welcome to the Left Out podcast.
Thank you. Finally.
No, it's true.
We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. We've been wanting you on since we decided that we want to do a podcast. We're we need to get Nigz on.
100%. Yeah.
100%.
I was telling her on the way here, I was like, we've always wanted you on the podcast.
Yeah. You got good banter.
No, this is exciting time.
I'm ready, shorty. I'm ready. Let's get this.
Oh my God. I don't even know where to begin, but
we also want to send a big shout out to Peter Bull.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We
Yes.
did.
He represented Australia in the Olympics last week and he did amazing.
100%.
Congrats.
We're so proud.
Yeah.
Amazing job. So
Oh my God.
Yeah,
amazing.
congratulations, man.
Oh my God.
when we were watching
Yeah, we were there. We were standing in the bar like, come on!
we are.
Nah, he did amazing.
Nah, you
so
did
proud
fantastic.
of him. But oh my God. So this week, actually it was I think it was last week, I was talking to some of my friends and I was like, oh, we were just talking about relationships and things, and they were like, oh, does body count matter? And how, is it important for your significant other or the girl that you're dating or the guy that you're dating to tell you their body, your body count? And I was kind of questioning. I'm like, I don't think it's something that needs to be told. I don't think you're obliged. If you want to tell, that's fine. But I don't think I don't think a girl should be like, I have to tell him my number.
But does that work both ways though? Should a guy be obliged to tell a girl their number?
No, I don't think guys are. I think, and I think it's weird because it's there's this double standard. A guy looks more appealing, well, maybe not to all, but it's more appealing if he has a higher number. He looks you know what I mean? Like a player or
his experience.
Yeah.
And then when a woman has a high number, she's kind of looked as promiscuous.
Yeah.
I feel
you know what I mean?
I feel like it doesn't matter. I feel like your past is your past. I feel like you should you shouldn't ever have to bring it up.
Yeah.
Unless it was a situation where you've been with someone that they know.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be discussed. But I don't feel like
The number matters.
no way.
No, I think because I think guys kind of hold value to the number on a woman because they'll be if say for example if her number was 30, right? They'll be okay, I would hook up with her, but I wouldn't date her.
Yeah.
That's a plating. That's not a serious situation. I wouldn't I wouldn't.
But
cuff
do you
her
know
type of
what?
thing.
I feel like there's some things that you don't need to talk about in your relationship. Why do you care?
yeah.
On a level, for me, I'm not here to talk about your ex-partners and all of your past escapades.
Yeah.
This is about us as two people, not you and every other person that you've been with.
It shouldn't matter. And
I don't care.
I feel in terms of how many people you've slept with, I feel for me personally, it's more about is it messy? That's what I don't care.
But I think saying is it messy, people would probably put that as in is the number high.
No, not as in is it messy? If you're
Loving the
messing
crew?
around with loving the crew, all these people that I know, that's messy. You're out here
You said loving the
bubbling.
crew.
Yeah, no. If someone's loving the crew,
but if it's completely just they had they don't even have to be in relationships, but it was completely in a mature situation where it was look, I don't need to know about that. Why do I need to know about that? That's your past.
To be fair, I think having that conversation with your partner, it's not necessarily important, but I think it should really be something that's just free flowing. I don't really see it as a big deal because realistically speaking, you don't know what season or what time that person was in when they were maybe partaking in those activities. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Maybe naturally people go through, I guess, quote unquote, our hoe phases. So if say that person was sleeping with 2, 3, 4 people at a time as compared to who they are in that present time, those are two completely different times. But I think it's a safe conversation to have, but I think you also need to really read the room with your partner. Some people are open to have those conversations and they are willing to receive that information, and some people are just not.
Yeah, it's true. 100% agree.
Man.
I think it's okay if it's you're just curious and stuff, but if it's a situation where it's affects the relationship, I think.
No, because I feel like I've been hearing now women are refusing to have sex with men just so that they can keep their body count low, just so that a potential wouldn't judge them on that number.
Imagine limiting
then that's
your
the wrong
life
person
for
for
someone
you
else.
then.
That's messed up.
Like, that's the wrong person for you.
Yeah.
Like, who
the
you
right
are,
person wouldn't care.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
But like, what do you think
100%.
that stems from? Like insecurities?
I think also just like social constructs in terms of what men and women should represent.
Yeah.
Because you know when guys are out there, they're gallivanting. They're
Gallivanting.
I like how you said that with chest.
Yeah.
But it's true. That's what they're
Yeah.
doing. They're out here gallivanting. They're putting their ting inside anyone.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like boys will be boys. They're going through this phase. When girls are doing it, it's like, she's loose. You see that girl?
Loose,
She's just
yes.
opening her legs
Yeah.
to
Oh my
everyone.
God.
It's
Yep.
because of these social constructs, and also coming from an African culture, we're taught as women that we're supposed to be wives, and you're supposed to
Pure.
present yourself. You're supposed to be
Pure.
pure, save yourself for your husband, this, that, and the other. So it's just one of those things. It's to do with like social
and when a woman
norms.
is sexually like liberated and confident,
Yeah, it's amazing.
it is. But like people will kind of look at that and take it as like she's been around, she's promiscuous, she's like
They
it's just
slut shame her.
exactly.
That's it.
Yep.
I think
So-
it only really becomes a problem also when you start slut shaming someone. That's a really big problem, because at the end of the day, what they choose to do back then has really nothing to do with you. Like it's just
But I think
I
if someone
agree.
is, like you said, like confident within their sexuality and like, it's like open about sex and things like that, then they are slut shamed. That's
Yeah.
always like the
100%
that's the
like
narrative, yeah.
Especially as
Definitely
women.
the narrative,
Yeah.
yeah.
100%. Like, have you guys seen
Especially
like
as women.
Sex and the City?
Yeah.
And like there's people that are like Samantha, and then there's people that are like Charlotte. Like, you know how Samantha's more so like she's just upfront with it and just has sex with people and may not be like a relationship driven type of woman.
Yeah.
But then you've got Charlotte that's been through relationship to relationship and also has a lot of partners as well. But for some reason it's like that's okay. But if you're, you know what I mean, like single and having fun and doing your thing and that's what you want to do, it's seen as like
It's a problem.
it's a problem.
Yeah, it's true.
It's weird. But then but on the other side for men, it's like it's fine.
It is
Like
what
the
it
higher the
is.
number, the more, like pat on your back.
I think also looking at it like from like another perspective, if it's something as an individual you have an issue with, like in your own life, like if you look at your own body count and you're like, rah, I've really done a thing, like
Yeah.
And when it's an issue within your own soul,
yeah.
that's when it should be something that you're questioning, like maybe this is a problem. But if I was to get into a relationship and my partner, well, to be honest, I don't even think it's a conversation we need to have. Like, I'm not going to sit there and ask, yo, babes, how many people have you had sex with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's
people,
awkward.
yeah, but people sometimes get hung up on the number
Yeah.
instead of the quality of the person. Like sometimes, like especially, I'm not talking like relationship. Like obviously that's more maybe like when you're more established and comfortable and things like that. But like at the beginning when you're like starting to talk to somebody, people sometimes really get hung up on the number and want to figure out. I feel like people only need to know, like if they need to know. It's like if you've been loving the crew. If you know that this person is like best friends with somebody else, if you're taking it more serious, I guess. If you're like, you know what I mean? Like if it's too close to home, maybe at that point you can tell them like, look, such and such as we've had a past. But like, I don't think it's necessary. Like, honestly.
No, I completely agree with what you're
Unless
saying, Nigz,
we're at a stage where we're
Yeah.
comfortable and then like, we're more established and like you said, read the room and kind of like,
That's it.
yeah, that 100% I
100%.
agree. But at the beginning, it's like, what do I got to give you my business like that for?
But I think also sometimes it stems from insecurity.
Yeah, it does.
Like when women ask like guys, how many girls have you been with? It's like,
Yeah.
am I part of a list now? Like let's say a guy says to you, I've had like 150 sexual partners. And then now you're thinking, so I'm 151. You get me?
And Perth is small, you know?
Perth is very
You know
small.
what's crazy? Like most people lie anyways. Like I feel like a lot of guys lie.
Like
I don't
make the
feel
number
like-
higher or make the number like
Either. Sometimes guys will. Honestly, sometimes guys make it less. Sometimes guys make it higher.
I think girls do that too though.
I think girls bring
Girls
it lower.
Yeah.
no, but sometimes girls double that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Yeah, that's true as well.
Like I feel like maybe not now, it's not a thing, but like there was a time where girls would be like, let me just like add a few
So your
more
body
bodies.
count is
But it's
2
just
and
like
then you
also
say
you
double
want
it,
them. You
four.
want them to think as one, like you're experienced, and as
Okay.
well that you're not like obsessed with them. Like
What do you
know,
mean?
like if
like
if you're
as
like,
in if you're a virgin.
like like if you're like, oh yeah, like they don't want them to think they're a virgin, or they also like if it's only like a couple of people, they don't want to be like like they just want to make it look like they have like more experience and that they
More appealing in that sense.
yeah.
I don't think numbers really like determine how experienced you are to be.
I agree.
To be
I
completely honest
agree.
with you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
I
might be
agree.
with one person and you might be getting like
Yeah,
the
you know
best
what to
sex
do.
of your life. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't
don't
think numbers
know.
really determine
No,
quality.
I
It
don't think the
doesn't.
number fixates
But
how.
I don't think,
Nah.
honestly, I don't know. Like, if you're like with one sexual partner, the rest, like,
If you,
But you
okay,
don't even have
not
it. You
one
don't even
time.
have anything to compare it
Yeah,
to at
you
that
don't have
point
anything to
either.
compare it
But to be
to.
fair, like 10 people, like you could sleep with 10 people, but it doesn't necessarily negate like.
You know
like,
how to, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
Like,
what you're saying.
It's not going to
I
justify
agree.
how good you
Oh,
are in the
definitely.
bedroom.
If you're
or
whack, you're
nothing
whack.
like that.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah,
Oh my god! Especially if you're out here,
That's facts. That's facts.
man.
especially if you're out
You're
here
crap.
having one night stands every
Like-
fucking weekend.
Oh, yeah, you don't know. Yeah.
You definitely don't know how to do it.
You don't know how to Oh, man.
Because you don't even have the time to get to know the girl's body. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And
Because-
that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, but I also think like when we do talk about like sex and relationships, it's a very important topic.
It is.
It's a very important. Like I feel like sometimes we like to limit it and be like, oh yeah, it's not that deep, it's not that deep. But it is. Because imagine this is your person, you get married and you haven't tested the products before.
Oh, my God.
And it's whack. Like,
I always think
and now
of that.
that's forever. Like for real.
But I think in those situations where it's like you wait till marriage, that's you like if she's a virgin, it's like, well, you won't know. Like that's all you know, so you probably accept that.
It's true.
But I'm a firm believer also, like, with the whole concept of sex. I feel like you can actually teach the person.
Yeah.
What you like.
Like,
Yeah,
you can
100%
teach the
true.
person.
Especially if you love them and stuff.
100%.
But yeah.
Yeah, truth. Yeah. I feel that.
It's all an experience at the end of the day. Like, you're not, it's like riding a bike. You're not going to be able to ride the bike, you know, on your first go. Like,
Perfectly.
you have to
Yeah.
have a couple of tries
Practice,
before you get to
yeah.
where you need to get to with that. So
That's
it's
true.
That's the truth. Jesus. Oh man.
You guys are killing me. My mother's gonna listen to this.
bruh.
That's what's
Bro,
so
your mother,
funny.
please. We've got people to worry about over here.
What was her name?
Hi, Mama Yolanda. I know you listen to this.
Sorry, Yolanda.
Forgive us in advance.
No,
She
but I
knows
feel
we're good
like
people.
it's a very important conversation, though, as like young African females to have the topic about sex and open up that door, because we don't have people who like actually negate that conversation for us.
100%.
Because we're always told, don't talk about that, don't talk about that. You're a lady,
Yeah.
you have to present yourself like this, you have to present yourself
Yeah.
like that. So it's important to open that door. So that's what we're doing. We're opening the door.
Yeah,
Legit.
Agreed,
that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Um.
But like speaking of like being African and things, do you think like our culture dictates who we should love and marry?
100%.
Really?
Do you reckon?
100%. 100%.
In what
like,
way?
we'd be lying to each other to say that, you know, like, as an example, like, you know, collectively, you could be from, you know, like, maybe your partner's from one tribe, you're from an opposing tribe. Your family might not even allow you to marry that person because you're from different tribes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whether we like it or not, at times, you know, forgive our caregivers, you know,
Caregivers.
our caregivers. I call them caregivers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forgive our caregivers.
No, I love that.
Because, you know, sometimes our caregivers can be quite apprehensive to the things that they just don't know or don't understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
they've loved us and cared for us and tried to mold us as best as they could.
Yeah.
But realistically speaking, they're not thinking that far. Like, they will limit you in not all cases, but in some cases, because that man might be the love of your life, but your parents want to get upset at the fact that he's from a different tribe. But what if he's giving you honesty, love, affection, security? What if he's doing all of that for you? And then now you're in a position where you have to choose between your family or your partner.
Yep.
It's not a good
I
kind of mix to be in.
Yeah, I agree. And I think also, like, even before even the love phase, I think we even close off that door. We don't even open that door
100%.
to even allow ourselves to get to know somebody that deep because of our, like, what's been
Yeah.
embedded in us.
Yeah.
And we're just so closed off and thinking that we should only maybe
We
stick
literally
within our, like you said, like our tribe, our culture, our religion,
Yeah.
you know, all these things.
Yeah.
But there's this whole other, whole
As
other
soon
door
as
that
you
we can...
meet them, you put a wall up. You're like,
Yeah.
oh no,
You box them
they're
in.
they're this. Sorry. can't
And the
even
sad
get to
thing
know you.
also about that is the fact that a lot of the time when we have when we feel that way, it's not necessarily because we personally feel that way. It's because our families have allowed us to feel that way. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
They will put so much pressure on
families and community.
you. 100%. You'll start thinking that, oh, actually, I don't want that. Not because I don't want that, but because maybe the people around me might not want that. They might not be that accepting of it. So rather than set myself up for failure in the future, let me just cut it off now before anything gets too deep.
I actually do think about that a lot when I have my own expectations. I'm like, are these my expectations, or are these the expectations that have been like embedded in me? That
a lot of
like I've
have
been drilled in
us.
me.
They've been ingrained with us.
Because 100%.
I've gotten to the point where I have become more like I want like what my parents actually want for me, and I was never like that when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, is this me like changing, or is this like me like
Is genuinely what I want.
Yeah, is this like compromising myself to help my family or like make them happy kind of thing.
Yeah.
What kind of standards do you guys feel like your community is set for you in terms of relationships? Because I feel like my experience is slightly different.
I mean,
but like, what our community has set up.
I think it's similar for.
Well, it's obviously we're the same, but it's like
it's definitely the same, Fable.
It's just kind of like you stick to your tribe.
You stick
to your own kind.
Yeah, your own kind.
Literally your own kind.
Your own religion as well.
Okay. Yeah. Because I know for me, like the religion part, that's just based off of me personally. But like, because like Zim is split into tribes as well. But I know that, like speaking from my parents specifically, if I was to date like a guy who's from another tribe, they wouldn't care.
Yeah, I'm the same, to be honest.
Not tribe.
I shouldn't say tribe. I take that back because obviously my parents are not from the same tribe.
Ethnicity. So in terms of like, if
not
you
tribe,
were to be in like a biracial couple, they wouldn't like. It would be something that would be a bit taboo.
Yeah, my mum always says like, if you marry a white man, then your kids will be white.
Rah!
Yeah, I think. And I think it's also the fear of their culture being like. Kind of
wiped away.
You know what I mean? And I think obviously the idea of it, like to be with someone from, you know, your culture is it seems like ideally it sounds great just because it's just everything's easier.
It's easier.
It's 100%. Easier, and I want my parents to have a relationship with
your
partner's parents as well. They can speak the same language.
That's what it is for
things
them
like
as well.
Also,
like they want that. They want that. Like, but if you marry into a like a culture that they're not familiar with, then like there's that natural.
They feel like strangers.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
because it's easier doesn't necessarily mean it's better.
Yeah, that's it. I completely
100%.
agree.
Okay,
when you put it in that aspect, okay, I understand, because I thought specifically you're talking like within like your own country, tribes wise, you can't marry someone from like a different tribe in your own country.
There are some. Like, to be honest, there are some countries in Africa that definitely feel like that. We didn't necessarily experience that ourselves, but I know it's definitely a thing. Like, I have friends that have experienced that, and it's definitely, it's real.
But that's crazy,
It's
man.
interesting, even like with just, I've noticed this with like some African countries and cultures and things. It's like they'll be more accepting of you being with someone that's like Western, like white or European or something like that, more so than if you were to be with someone that is from another African country. And it doesn't make sense to me, because
Do you
I'm
know
like,
what they say? It's because they say that
Just say it.
It's okay, man.
They say that
No
white people don't have culture.
That's
so you can teach them your culture.
Yeah, that you can teach. Like,
so
not
necessarily
necessarily that white people don't have culture. It's like they don't have as strong as a culture.
Yeah, so it's not
where it's
as
not
challenging.
As challenging, right? So then they can like learn your culture and they can like assimilate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's so interesting.
That is interesting.
I feel like that's the reason why they prefer us to marry.
But I
Western.
also feel like it's because sometimes there's this massive misconception that I think maybe white people might be a bit more not as demanding as Africans, might be a bit more easier, not so stressful as maybe dating, say, a black woman, for example. Like, I think that's where it also kind of stems from as well. It might just be an easier option or more of a not a better option, but
it's true. But
and they also might.
You know what I mean?
Say that like,
100%.
I'd rather date a white girl than date a black girl, because
I'm telling you,
black girls are too difficult.
Yeah,
that exact sentence.
Disgusting.
That shit pisses me off, man. It makes
true.
me so angry, because your mum's black. No, for real. Do you love your mum?
Self-hate.
Do you think that like our generation will break those barriers of like not letting our culture dictate who we love and who we date?
Yes.
Or do you think that we are kind of, like you said, assimilating to those what we've been taught, like what's been embedded in us.
I think we're breaking the mold in a lot of very different aspects. Like, yes and no. There's some people, unfortunately, who will continue the cycle because there's that fear of like being rejected by your family, being rejected by your community. There's some people who will continue it and they'll also continue to teach that to their children. But there's other people who are just kind of like, I don't care. And they will just
be free,
be free and be their authentic selves.
Yeah, I agree. And there's also like what you're saying, but there's also people that honestly don't like question why they are only attracted to a specific type of people, or you know what I mean? Like they won't actually think, oh, is this how I truly feel, or is this what's been
for me? Like now, I'm like, I want someone from my own ethnicity. I want them to have the same experience as me. Yeah. I want them to understand my trauma. Like, you know, like that comes with where I'm from. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. No, there isn't.
But then I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm like, is it like really like my own needs, or is this just like how I've been shaped? That's why I'm always conflicted with myself. Yeah. But I always say like, that is my preference, but I will never knock like another situation. Like if it wasn't that preference and it was like I was madly in love, I would never.
But I'm saying, would you allow yourself to even get madly in love with a person that is like presents to you as not from your ethnicity?
Yes, 100%, because I'm on that boat.
I mean, I think I would.
Yeah, I think even for me, like I think, but there's some people that won't even allow themselves to go that deep into a situation because that person is not from their ethnicity.
I think obviously I have like things that I value more than like, obviously of course I 100% ethnicity, but like Nigz was saying before, like at the end of the day you just want a good man, you know. You want an honest man. You want someone that's
that cares about you, loves you.
Like so you could have someone from your ethnicity, you could be a piece of shit, you know. And it's like you're gonna compromise that just because he's like the same ethnicity and the same religion as you, like
100%. But like even I don't know if it's for you the same situation, but like haven't you heard that like when people will be like, oh, I don't want to marry, or I don't want to date a Tigray or like an Ethiopian person right now because I want to have fun. Like I want to do that later on. It's like so like I don't know if that's with you with Zim people, but it's like once you date somebody that's like in your
especially the males.
It's like if I don't want to date. This is not how I feel, obviously, but like people will be like, if I date someone from my ethnicity, it's like. It means
that's like my wifey material.
Yeah, it's a serious thing. You're not going into it with a it's just like let's just have fun type of thing. You'd be like,
they think straight away it's serious. They think of marriage.
I think that mentality is bullshit.
Me
and
too.
It's childish.
It's ridiculous. But that's the thing again.
But people
genuinely really
like
come
that.
from women. Does that do women actually say these things?
No,
women don't.
Like, because I'm just asking.
It's because they want to treat the girls like shit. So they're like,
exactly.
So if you were to be with a Zim man, do you think at that point? Do you think at that point it's taken like, do you clock in like, okay, this is something more serious than I would take if it was, I don't know, someone from like whatever other country?
100% not. Like,
okay.
Wow.
For me personally, like the way I look at it is, if this person respects me, cares about me, and we're in a productive relationship where both of us are growing and we're glowing, then I don't care where you're from. Like respectfully, I don't care. But I get, like, yes, there'll be some difficulties. There's that language barrier. Like, let's say I'm dating someone and their family's back home. Or, like, there's a lot of things that, like, come up as barriers when you're not from the same place. I get that.
Yeah.
And, like, also, I look at, like, I start thinking about when I have kids and I take them to go see, like, their great-grandma, because in Jesus' name, she'll still be alive when that happens. Like, they're not going to be, she's like, my partner's not going to be able to communicate with her. Like, there's those things that you think about. But at the same time, I don't care. If I fall in love with someone, they're a white guy, man. They're from Ghana, they're from wherever they're from, I don't care.
But I know you value, like, religion.
I
like,
do.
That's
religion
something
for
that
me
you
is
wouldn't
something
compromise.
that's important. I won't compromise my religion for anyone's son.
Yeah.
That's something for me, irregardless.
So people have that with ethnicity.
Yeah. Like, if you've got your own faith, calm. Like, I'm cool with it. For real, I am. I'm okay with that. Like, if you believe in what you believe in, like, I really respect that. But I don't want a situation where we get together, like, and it's serious, and now you want me to convert for you. Could never happen.
I think if you genuinely find I don't know what that word would be, but like peace or connection with the faith on your own terms, that's fine. But I feel like when it becomes just out of, or like, let me just do it because I have to marry somebody out of love. I don't know. I can't.
I don't think it's a pure. It doesn't. I don't think it really
Doesn't seem
shows that
pure.
you're exactly. It doesn't show that you're pure.
Yeah.
In terms of what? Sorry, I don't
Like if
follow.
you
No, go.
no, like if you were just to convert for someone just out of
Because of
out of
love,
love,
yeah.
instead of like
I
doing
really
it out
don't
of
like that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like instead of doing it out of like
it being your choice.
you
Your
connecting,
choice,
your choice, and
yeah.
actually connecting and finding
Yeah.
that, you know,
That's the most beautiful
purpose.
thing. Yeah, like if someone like actual connects with the religion and it
you
brings them
introduces
peace.
you to it, but you connect
Yeah.
to it on your own. That's
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But
I
if it's
agree.
like they've literally converted,
just
because
Just to
yeah.
keep you.
just to keep
Just
you.
to keep you, exactly.
I
And
agree.
that's the reality. A lot of the time, women do that shit, man. They will convert for someone's son. And it's like, but is this your faith? Is this what you, like, is God calling this for you? Or you're doing it because of this person? Like, and I don't think that's authentic to myself. I can't lie
Yeah.
and
I
say
agree.
that
And I feel
could
like
do
it'll
that for
always-
somebody.
I agree.
it will always
Yeah.
cause issues in the future.
Yeah.
100%.
But I don't think it it's a bit challenging because I just kind of think, look, it's not impossible, and it's not easy. But even if someone was the same faith as you and is from the same ethnicity, doesn't mean that's an easy relationship either.
Yeah.
No,
that's
it's
it.
not.
It's not just a walk in the park.
Yeah,
You're still going to go through challenges. It may not be the same challenges as having someone from a different faith and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's not easy either.
No, for
So
sure.
I feel like it is a challenge, but if you genuinely like have
Care and love. For
yeah,
the
if you
person,
yeah
fine.
exactly, then you can make it work
No,
regardless if
100%.
you know.
If you're able to coexist and communicate properly, then that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you're able to express that, I can't partake in that because
Mm.
with my faith, I don't agree with that. I respect that. Like, I'm not even trying to like cut the limits and say like I can't date someone who's not the same religion as me. That's not what I'm saying. It's more like on an aspect of I respect your like what your path is, what your journey is. Respect mine.
Yeah.
That's what it is for me. And like, cool. Like, if a Muslim guy was to hit me up, calm. Like, I don't care. Like, I feel like all of these things, they're big things, but they're things that you can like work through if you're with the right
If you're willing-
person.
Yeah,
and
I
if
agree.
you're willing
I agree.
to, there's nothing that is like impossible to like
I think so.
like work through and like be cohesive with. Exactly what you're saying. If you're able to coexist, then it's calm.
But I think also when you're in a relationship with someone that maybe is, I guess, from a different ethnicity or a different religion, that is the type of conversation that you need to have at the beginning. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yep.
You can't start having that conversation like 2 years into the
years
thing
in.
and be like, oh, 1 minute I'm one way and now I'm a different kind of way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you need to have those kind of conversations from the beginning so you set the standard for the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period. Like,
because there's so many times where I hear these situations and it's just like you wasted 2 years of your life.
Yeah.
but is it really a waste though? Like,
Yeah, you're right. It's a learning experience.
yeah, I don't really see like even if a relationship ends, I don't really see it as a regret or a waste of my time. If I didn't take anything away from the relationship, then it is a waste of my time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
surely you've taken
Something.
something from that.
Yeah.
From that experience
learnt
with this
from it,
person.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I
That
feel
is
like
true.
sometimes when you break up with someone, you say things like that, like, oh my God, it was a waste of my time. Because I've caught myself saying things like that.
Sure.
And it's
Yeah.
from a place of pain and like hurt.
Of course.
Because you're reacting out of anger.
Of course.
I like that statement, reacting out of anger. Like, you're reacting. When you react from emotion, you say a lot of things that you don't mean. And
Agree.
a lot of things that you're not actually feeling. I completely agree with you. Like, there's never any relationship or anything in any season that's a waste of time.
There's
Yeah.
not.
Because you've learned and you've gained something from everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mad. It's crazy. But there's this post, I sent it into the Left Out group chat, but that I saw on the Shade Room, and it was talking about like sticking to this topic of relationships. It was talking about like money and like let me just read it. So it says, my boyfriend makes 80 to 85k a year.
Oh, I read this,
You
child.
read it? I'm literally flat broke from not being able to work for a month before I got this job. We live together. This man literally won't even loan me dollars for groceries without me promising to pay him back 5 times. Like, why am I alone in this? Where is the team? I had a lot of problems with this.
So did I. I really did as well.
Sis, if he's doing that, you sound like you're single. I don't like. There's one trait that I honestly do not like in people. Period. I don't like when people when a person is stingy or selfish. Like in that sense, it just I can't. That's a red flag for me. For someone to be like making that type of money and you're in a relationship and you're clocking how much like you give her $5 and you're gonna be like, oh, pay me back tomorrow, and you're gonna keep asking. I've got a problem with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
I don't F with that.
On that level, I agree with you. I don't like stingy and selfish people as well. But also, I think like for me, I'm one of those people. I'm very, very independent.
Yeah,
I never, ever in my
girl, me
life
too.
want someone's son to feel like they can financially control me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that
like
too.
financially wrapped on someone. So I get it. Like if this girl is seriously in a situation in her relationship where she's struggling and her boyfriend's out here buying Louis Vuitton, buying Gucci, and she's genuinely struggling, if they're in a relationship, you'd assume that person would help her. But at the same time, I don't know. I just would never want to see myself in a position where I'm even
I feel like he
arguing
should
with
be
someone
helping.
over money.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, it's not his responsibility either. So
Word.
there's two sides of it. There's the side of obviously if you're in a relationship with someone and you're genuinely struggling, you shouldn't be struggling. Your partner should feel compelled
Facts.
to help you.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
But then on the other side of things, in this day and age, you cannot afford to be a woman who does not have a job
Yeah.
and is not
Can't
taking
hold
care
your
of
own.
themselves.
Yeah.
You need to be able to hold
But I think
hold
she
it down.
wasn't it
Hold
that
your
she hit like a financial crisis. Like it was
Yeah.
just like a.
I mean, they didn't
it
give us
wasn't like-
They
context.
didn't give us context on that. They
There
were
was no
kind of just
context.
like
She said she lost her job for some reason. Like it wasn't like literally she just came into the relationship.
she
and
said,
was-
yeah, not being able to work for a month or
Yeah,
something.
she said from not being able to work for a month.
So where's your savings, baby?
Yeah, a month and you.
Thank you.
Where's your savings?
But like, still, like, I feel like if you're in a relationship, like, come on, like, if he's making 80k, 85k a year.
Yeah, but that's also in the same breath. It's like you saying that the person that you're with is solemnly responsible for your happiness.
No.
Like,
But no,
I'm
no,
not
I'm not
comparing the
saying he
two,
got a
but-
job. He got to, pay her lifestyle. But like, come on, she said groceries.
Yeah.
Groceries is come on, like. That's
You're
calm
telling me
stuff.
He clearly doesn't give a fuck about it. He
And the
cares
fact
about
that
his
he's
money than her.
reminding her 5 times to pay
Yeah.
me back. How much is
Yeah,
groceries? Come on.
to be
That's some
fair, I
rank
also
shit.
don't like that. Like, I feel like in a relationship, like if you're really dealing with someone on that level, I
Yeah.
don't see the whole concept of like if
Paying
I give my
back.
man money, I'm not expecting that money back. Like
100%.
I'm giving it to
It's
you
like
because
what-
I
what's
want to
mine
give it
is
to you at
yours.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you to be like,
That's it.
tomorrow, make sure you pay me tomorrow. Make sure you pay me tomorrow. What?
Oh my
Like,
gosh, I'd
that's
be
so ugly.
out of there. But see you later.
That's what I mean. That's such an
deuce.
ugly trait to me.
Yeah,
It's like,
I
ugh,
agree.
like,
But I do
nah.
agree with
Even-
you. I will never, I will set myself up to the point where I will never have
Oh yeah,
to
I'm
rely on
I'm
her.
I
prideful
would
in that
rather
sense.
die
man
than
for
rely
money.
on someone.
Literally, I'll be in a corner
Like
homeless.
he can
Never.
spoil me. He can spoil me. That's fine. But like in terms of like actually like financially like
be like my source of income.
No
I
way.
couldn't do it.
Absolutely
could
not.
I.
Yeah,
I'd-
source of income. Oh yeah, for sure.
No.
Yeah, but like I think like if you're in a relationship, obviously you've got some sort of comfortability with this person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're like, if you're running short on some coins,
And it
he's like-
happens, yeah. Yeah.
life happens. We're not like, come on. So it's just like,
I'd rather go to
pass
my
me
family.
$200 for just to get me
Yeah.
by. I'm sure that's
In that aspect of things, I think that's fairly normal. Like, if you're in a relationship, yes, you should be able to ask your partner. Like, if you're struggling, you let them know, like, oh, babes, like, this month is a bit tight for me.
Yeah.
It's a bit
December's
rough.
coming up. Listen, Christmas, come
It's a
on.
bit rough. I need to be December's coming up. I need to buy my parents gifts, whatever.
I
Like,
will not
let me
accept it if he
quick-
says it around special. If he says it around Christmas, we got no.
Times are tough.
When I need my gifts, times are tough. I need you to loan me some money. No. It doesn't
no,
work
no.
like that. Yeah,
No, but
12
it's-
months to organize this.
I feel like I'm happy to do it, but I just have so much pride for like to ask.
For money?
Yeah. I'd rather ask like my parents or my friends. I don't know why.
No.
I think it's a two-way. Like honestly, like with that post, I feel like you can see it. Everyone's gonna have a different interpretation of that post. Like
That's it.
I can see it from both perspectives.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that if you're in a relationship with someone, you should feel not necessarily feel the need, but you should feel comfortable enough to tell your partner this is what's up. Like I need
Yeah.
help. But in the same breath, you should also be financially able and financially stable. Period.
Do you think like kind of relates but doesn't? But like, have you ever been in a situation where your partner has been kind of jealous of your success, or you've been jealous of theirs?
Nah.
Like where it's like, oh, I don't want to.
Oh, I don't think so.
Like where it's like, I'm making more money, so I don't want to like.
Nah, definitely not.
You know what I mean? No.
I've been in situations where like people I cared about, you can clearly see that they're jealous of where you're going in life.
Yeah.
And in that aspect, in that same breath, they knock you down.
Yes.
Yeah. And
That can happen.
They may not do-
particularly
they-
in friendships.
in friendships, even
yes.
sometimes let's not even limit it in family. Like sometimes people you care about can
100%.
genuinely be jealous of you.
I agree.
And they have evil eye and don't want to see
Oh,
you do
yeah.
well.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
you know what? A lot of the time, it's not even direct. It's indirect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You may not really see it like you know what I mean? Like, it may not be upfront,
It can be
but
quite
you-
passive aggressive as
Exactly.
well.
Yeah. And it's a lot of
It
time,
happens
it's these
all the
aunties,
time.
It's these African aunties, you know, the ones that want to make comments on your life.
Yeah.
They want to ask you where are the kids.
It's based
where's the
on
husband?
their own
Because
insecurities.
It
yeah,
is.
like I'm sure this may not be that situation, but there's sometimes where people play around that they know that they shit on somebody because they know that they're more like they're the breadwinner.
Yeah.
So like, you know how like you hear about families where situations where the woman doesn't want to leave her husband because she feels like I don't have any money, I don't have anything,
Yeah.
and he's the one that usually looks after me and things like that. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes it's like those I don't know, those roles really always, like, you hear it happen all the time. And I'm like,
It's kind of like when we asked that question on the polls about are you okay with like making more money than your man? Because I feel like sometimes that's like can be a source of jealousy in relationships, especially if you're with a man who's insecure about finances or who's insecure about like where you are in life.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can like their response to that can be like they might start being like verbally aggressive or like start knocking you down from where you're at in life because they're insecure about themselves and like not.
I had a conversation
Women.
with my friends about this, and I asked that exact question from the poll to a male, and he's like, "Yes, I would be insecure if like I wouldn't be happy with my lady to be making more money than me."
yeah, like, to be honest, I'm fine to be making more money. I think that's a problem on his end.
I just think
That's not like that doesn't make me feel any different about him at all. It's more so that how he handles that. That's it on him.
I completely
I'm
agree.
fine with making
I
more
don't
money.
care, like
But do you think it's wrong for them to feel like?
Yes. It is wrong because realistically speaking, when you're in a relationship with someone, that's like that should be the last thing on your mind. You want to know that your partner 100% in everything that you do is going to support you. Like that's your cheerleader. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like now imagine you're making money on on everything that you've done. Like imagine how many years you've gone to uni, how many obstacles you've had to face, and then now you have to deal with a man that's got short man syndrome. Like
Facts.
like it's really not that deep.
But I think it's I don't know, like, so
I
I feel
agree
like
with you.
for a man, I feel like it's been taught and embedded in them that they're the, you know what I mean, the man of the
Have to
house,
be the
the
man
king
of
of the
the house.
castle. Like if I'm not the breadwinner, what am I bringing to the table?
A man brings more.
Yourself.
Yeah, he brings more.
But a man
to the
brings
table.
more to the table than just that.
I know, but like if that's
Exactly.
what they've been taught,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the right way, but like
Yeah.
maybe for them they feel like they're
That's
not
exactly
an
what
equal.
they think.
They
Yeah.
probably feel like I'm not an equal.
So
Yeah.
Like
this just shows us-
she's the one that's wearing the pants in the
which is
relationship.
so ridiculous. Like only just because someone is making more money than you does not mean they're wearing the pants. Like this.
But
now
that doesn't
starts
mean that they're not excelling as well in their own careers.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah.
It just shows that like relationships are not just about money. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not
Yes.
money should not be dictating your relationship and dictating who is in control in your relationship. That's so ridiculous and it's such a backwards like way of thought. We should be teaching our sons that what you should be portraying in a relationship is being like vulnerable, like being emotive, being able to be emotionally available for your partner.
Yeah.
Like being able to not just provide financially, but to provide as a man and as a person. What you're bringing to the table is yourself at the end of the day, not what you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So
True.
it's so whack if you come into a relationship because you just want to be with a guy because he's got money. You're corny, G. Like that's
Do you
ridiculous.
think that also leads to why people cheat? Sometimes when it like
Yeah.
those situations where a man doesn't feel like an equal or he feels emasculated in those situations.
I think so. I think
Yeah,
sometimes men
definitely.
cheat from insecurity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of people step out when it's always based on their own insecurities.
Men,
It's never
men's
about
ego are very
not
fragile.
just men. It could be females
oh my
as well.
Gosh. You can break a man's
Yeah.
ego in 2 seconds. I didn't realize that like growing up. I'm like, you guys are actually weak. No, I don't know. I should say that. Not weak, but like you're very fragile in your like your like everything is like I always I was asking my friend and I was like like, why do men cheat? Like, why are women so loyal?
Yeah.
And that's literally, it's to feed their ego, just because it's so fragile in situations. It's like they just do it to feed their ego.
I was
just
just
very
sometimes
insecure.
It's self-sabotage as well.
Yeah.
It comes from a place of self-sabotage. Like, there's a narrative that I hate so much. It's this whole thing that our generation loves to talk about how men aren't emotionally available. Like, and guys love to say that, like, oh, I'm just working on myself right now. What the fuck does that mean?
Working on yourself, please.
What are you
I
working
mean, to
on?
be fair, I feel like it means exactly that. They're working on themselves. Because if you think about it,
Did you actually think that they're working on themselves?
I
now.
actually do. Like, I really do. Like, if you're
16-year-olds say it. I'm working on myself. Please.
Listen,
what are you working on?
I don't deal with 16-year-olds. I deal with grown
Oh, please,
people.
neither do I.
Do you know what I mean? So I couldn't sit here and comment on that. But I feel like when someone says that they're quote unquote working on themselves, I genuinely feel like they're doing exactly that, because there's always betterment at any kind of stage in your life. Like you don't stop growing. Self-evolution is a consistent thing.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
For
So
sure.
like, but in terms of, just to go back to your point, like when you're talking about how men are quite fragile, the reason why I personally feel that men have that, I guess a sense of fragility is because they've always been taught to be so hard.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. Yep.
they've always
Yep.
been told to be hard. You are the man. You can't show emotions. You know, like you have to be the provider. You have to act in a certain way, and you have to
Can't be
represent
emotional.
yourself in a certain way. So that now, when you start actually dealing with someone, a lot of the time you will find like their layers slowly start they kind of start uncoiling, and then you start seeing different versions of this person. Maybe in the beginning of the relationship they were super hard, but lo and behold, like 8 months into the
softy.
relationship, that
They're
man is soft.
Yeah.
But it's because you've provided him with that room and that safety,
comfortability,
that
yeah.
comfortability. So
Yeah.
you've given him time to grow to who he actually would really like to be.
Yeah.
But in reality, hasn't always been able to do that because of how he's been conditioned to act in a certain way.
Yeah, that's
So
true. Yeah, that is. Yeah, I agree with that.
it's a double-edged sword sometimes in those kind of scenarios, I think.
Do you think, we asked this question on the poll, do you think it's important to know why someone cheats? Do you think that's like
Yes.
we need to know why, the reason behind it?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Definitely.
Yeah, but I don't...
Does it
For me,
change, like...
I've been cheated on. So,
Yeah.
like, for me, when I got cheated on, I wanted to know, not because I'm trying to, like, dig myself a deeper, like, emotional hole, but I wanted to gauge, what the hell were you thinking?
You wanted
Yeah.
closure?
Like, yeah, I wanted closure. I wanted to understand how we got from point A to point B. Was it not necessarily for me, like, to be like, I'm going to start feeling a way about myself
Yeah.
because you decided to make that choice. It wasn't
Yeah.
it's not a reflection of me.
Yeah.
If that's how you're going to
Reflection of
act, that's how you're
yourself,
going to act. I don't
yeah.
have to deal with that. But I want to know how we got to this point. And a lot of the time, like, the reason was bullshit. I ain't going to lie. But look, at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do, how they want to do it. And all you can really decide to do in that particular, like, position is how are you going to navigate that? Like, are you going to be with someone that's, like, cheated on you? Are you going to deal with that? Or if not, which in my case, I was like, there's no way. You're going to play me. Someone that looks like me. There's no way, mommy. Nah. You ain't going to play me. I know what I bring to the table. I am the table. How you going to cheat on me? So I was like...
Tell them again.
So I was like, there's no
Yes.
way, there's no way. There's
Thank
no way.
you.
But it was good for me to kind of figure out, like, sometimes it's nice to understand the male mind and how they really process things, because sometimes I'm like, do you guys really think about what you're doing, or like, what is this? But it was good to figure it out, and I understood it for what it was. And years later I ended up having that conversation with him now as adults.
Yeah.
And obviously he apologized and gave me a bit more context. Still, the reason to a certain degree was bullshit, but it's that was his story, that was his reality, and that's all good.
That's true. Do you think that, like...
Go.
No, I was going to say, like, I think, like, what you were saying before, it does give you a little bit of closure. It also gives them the opportunity to, like, be accountable as well.
Yeah.
So you can take that. It doesn't mean that you have to, like, forgive them or anything. But then, like, knowing, like, everything can, like, help you heal. Because then, like, I feel like if there's only, like, you just know that they cheat and that's it. You don't know why. You don't know how. Like, you don't know all those things. Like, you're just going to constantly be I feel like you're just going to constantly be questioning
Yeah, with the situation.
the situation.
But, like,
yeah.
I feel like people sometimes look for the why because they want to, like, somehow, like, validate the reason, like, give them a
Why?
pass in a sense,
Yeah.
like, kind of, like, look past that situation, be like, okay, I can just ignore that, I can understand that, and just be like, oh.
I
And
think
then
that's
they
up
move
to
on
that
for it.
individual. I
Yeah,
don't think
I think
it
it's a
necessarily
personal
makes anyone
personal
like
decision.
less
Yeah.
than if they decide to
go back.
Yeah, to go back.
To be honest, it's harder to go back.
Yeah.
I think
I could never go back to
it's
someone
hard.
cheating.
It's harder to go back, to look past that and kind of move on. It's
I
harder
could
work.
never go back to someone that would do that or
That
could do
betrayed?
to- 100% not. How am I going to trust you?
Exactly. Trust is massive.
Yeah.
And once you lose
Massive.
trust, like I feel like you can regain trust, but I don't ever feel like
It's a lot of work.
it's a lot of work, but I don't ever feel like you'll ever get to that point with that person where you even be able to trust them at that level. Like if you trusted your partner, like, or your friend or your family member at say 100%, and they've done something to you that's affected your trust in some capacity, you're not
back
gonna
down here.
you ain't gonna go back to 100%.
That's why I think it's harder to go back.
So that goes back to that question that was also said on the polls. Like, say the people that do go back, so they're tolerating the bad behavior. Do you think that's like not tolerating, but like they're kind of like
Tolerating.
The word
Yeah.
is tolerating.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
They're
I think-
tolerating or accepting, like for whatever reason. Do you think that is them being forgiving and understanding, or do you think that's kind of like a reflection on how they feel about themselves? Do you think that they
Okay.
don't think that they're worthy enough to?
I see it on both sides. I can see
Yeah.
where I can like sometimes like look, someone can cheat and we could be at a bad like I don't know. We all go like this. I don't know how to word this, but
Like
like
two different seasons.
yeah, exactly. So like if someone was really like holding themselves accountable and really working on themselves, and same vice versa, and then we finally meet up, and we like, look, we can work past this, or we want to work past this, and then we can, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you're accepting that bad behavior. It means that sometimes there's situations, of course, when they do, but like sometimes it could be like, look, we've learned from our mistakes and we want to do better,
Yeah.
and kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
work
it's true.
towards you know what I mean? But like, I don't know, it's hard. I can see both
thoroughly-
ends.
I think that's why the why actually does matter as well.
It's true.
That's
Yeah,
that's
that's
exactly
true.
why
That is
the
true.
why-
That is true.
Personally, I thoroughly believe you teach people how to love you, especially in relationships. You teach people the things that you can like withstand, and you teach people the things that like just are absolute off limits and off your boundaries.
So you
agree.
think that you have to teach someone to love you?
No, I'm saying you teach people how to love you.
Yeah.
Like,
So she's saying that you set the standard for yourself. So, for
Yeah.
example, if you set a standard in this way, that person's gonna know that they can't do anything but meet that standard.
And
Yeah.
then if they if they do not if they don't make the standard, and then you don't like continue that, does that mean like your standard goes down?
no,
It
like
depends. It depends on the context. Depends on the
Yeah.
scenario. Depends on the actual issue at hand.
Like, for example, with the cheating thing, if you've set it in your relationship, as a boundary that
Yeah.
if you betray me and you cheat on me, don't even come back. Like, just allow it. Like, the relationship's done.
Yeah.
If your partner knows that very clearly and very cutthroat,
Yeah.
I really believe if they care about you and love you, that's not
wouldn't
even
do
something that will cross their mind.
Yeah.
Because they will know how you respond to that. And I genuinely believe that you teach people those things. Like, you let people know that this for me, you can't do that to me. Like, it's,
Yeah, I agree.
like, and it's not saying that people who are cheated on, like, they're wrong and they haven't taught someone how to respect them. That person just doesn't value you, like, on a level.
But I feel like just going into the freaking relationship and like you're going to a relationship to be committed without even like setting those boundaries. Like if they,
Cheating, like it's obvious.
it's an obvious thing.
Like, it doesn't
That-
need to
like
be a
it's,
very-
It's
you
really
don't
not.
have- you
I mean, it's really not that obvious because if it was obvious, then people wouldn't cheat.
that's it.
No, I'm
Like-
saying I think they choose regardless. Even if you set
Yeah,
that
it's a choice.
boundary,
100%
they'll
a
still
choice.
do it.
It's not a mistake.
Yeah,
And that's where I come back to my statement of,
Yeah.
if that person cheats on you, they do not value you. Like, they don't. Like, that's the way that I look at it. They don't
Yeah.
care about you.
Yeah.
Because if you can if you can go out there and you're gonna do something that you know is gonna hurt me, you don't care about me. Like, you don't. You cannot come back to me and now say it was a mistake. How did you put your ding-a-ling into someone by accident? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I've
don't
never
know, it's
understood that
tricky.
I've never understood
Yeah,
that.
that's wild.
What?
Like just the concept of cheating on
It's
someone.
tricky,
That you
it's
genuinely
really
like.
tricky.
How did
you
your
like,
part
that's
end up in someone else's part, and then you want to say it's an accident? That was
not
not
even
an
that. And
accident.
especially when they don't even admit to it, they come back home acting like nothing
Nothing's
happened.
happened. Yes.
How are you sleeping right now?
People are
Kind of they want their
demons,
cake
man.
and eat it.
Yes.
But how do you like live with that guilt?
Yeah.
I don't
A lot of
know.
people want to have that single life, but also want to have someone that holds them down.
Which is so selfish, man.
Yeah.
It's so
Very.
selfish.
Yeah.
Like,
But then when a woman cheats, bash it. Like, literally,
Yes.
like, slut shame her.
But to be honest with you, a woman cheating is so much worse than a man cheating.
That's what I'm
I ain't gonna
saying.
lie. I ain't gonna lie. Because I feel
Oh, you
like
agree
if
with that too?
Yeah, I do
Oui.
believe that. And the only reason why I think it's worse is because a lot of the time when men, I feel at least from the kind of conversations I've had with people is like
Yeah.
when a man cheats on a woman, a lot of the time a man can claim that, he still loves his woman. He's just maybe stepping out of the relationship.
so it's
yeah?
not emotional, it's just physical.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But when a woman cheats, yeah,
Yeah.
It's
a
emotional.
lot of the time it's emotional. And I feel like when your soul starts intertwining with another entity, that's the
But
beginning
usually
and the end.
the reason is probably
Nah,
because their
it's the
man
begin-
is probably treating them
it's
like
the beginning
shit.
and the end.
I
Okay,
feel like
so you're saying there's levels to cheating.
No, I'm not saying that there's levels. What I'm saying is,
there's levels to cheating in genders.
mm,
I kind of agree with that. I ain't gonna lie.
you know, like I don't know what my
Naz,
opinion is about this
I'm
cheating
telling
thing.
you
I'm
right
like,
now, because
kinda like-
women, okay, when you, okay, again, let me take a step back. In the conversations that I've also had with women who have cheated.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time with women, one thing about women is we tolerate a lot in a relationship. We tolerate.
Word,
We're
word.
nurturers.
That's
We're
the
nurturers.
truth.
So with your man, like if he's not doing what he needs to do by you, he's not making you feel happy, he's not satisfying you, whatever it may be, a lot of the time you're not going to be so quick to be done with that relationship. You'll give him time.
Yeah.
You're going to give him ample chances.
Yeah.
But sometimes what also happens is naturally people get tired.
Yes.
Yeah.
People get tired. So what then happens is, like you might not realize it or you may realize it, but at some point your body hasn't left, you physically haven't left, but emotionally you're gone.
You've
You're
checked
tapped
out.
out.
You've tapped
Yeah.
out. You've tapped out. So
Yeah.
once you've tapped
Yeah.
out, it's going to be easier to attract someone else because whatever you once felt for this other person no longer doesn't exist. It's not there anymore. So I feel like the emotional side of things, like feelings, love, isn't something that should be like taken so calmly. It's not a calm thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not a calm thing. People need to start taking it seriously because it comes with a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like when you allow yourself to be in a position where you're falling in love with somebody else, but you're still with somebody else, that says a lot. Like, it says a lot.
Yeah, it says a lot about you, yeah. But I think if, I don't know, man, I don't agree. I feel like if a woman cheats, it's the same value as a man cheating. It's not worse. It's not better.
But
it's
I
not.
don't. I'm not
it's,
saying. I
it's,
don't
it's
think
equal
she's
playing
saying.
ground.
I don't
I'm
think
not
she's
saying
saying
it's-
the value's not the same.
I'm not saying
She's
the
saying
value.
it's different.
Well, I'm saying it's
reasons, right?
different.
Yeah, but that's just assuming that the woman is falling in
Yeah.
love. There's women
Yeah.
out there that are just fucking.
Yeah.
That don't.
Facts.
That are
There's
just,
like those
that-
things that we have, like the man's, he's out there
This
to
thing-
feed his ego. He's
Yeah,
out
there's
there,
women
it's
out there,
physical.
like,
Oh, you know what?
and
Okay,
female, it's
which is also
emotional.
true. Do you know what I mean? We gotta see it
This
from.
hot girl summer. Come on,
Yeah.
like people are throwing and
100%.
bumping out here. Like it's just. It's
Nah, I'm
not.
going back. There's girls out here that are just fucking.
And it's also we're also giving like the males an excuse. Like that's
No,
like
we're giving them a pass.
yeah, pass. Like
Yeah.
like oh no, that's just
Where's
like
Nana's hand
natural.
for me?
That's natural habitat for them. But for a woman, how could a woman do that?
Exactly. She's meant to stay pure. She can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
She's
yeah.
emotional. She's a caregiver.
Okay, I've got a question though.
Caregiver.
How do you know you're in love? Like that's something that I like genuinely. How do you know?
I've never been in love,
That's
Me
not
neither.
true.
but I think.
Do you think that's not true?
No, I'm actually saying it straight up. That's not true.
Okay, well, I've been like with friends and family.
Just in general, like
I've
just
What
that
do you
word.
mean?
Nah, there's levels.
There's levels. There's
to it.
levels. I don't
levels.
think.
I've heard.
I don't think there's a
You
clear
guys could-
answer on how to be in love.
Apparently, it's when I haven't also been in love either. But apparently, it's when
romantic love. Okay, we're
Romantic
narrowing it-
love, I
Okay,
have
no,
not
no,
been in.
you're changing it.
okay, no, but just. Do you know? I wish people could see what you're doing. I really do. I wish they could see you. No, okay, fine. All right, I'll ask the original question. How do you know you're in love? Take it and interpret it however you want.
No, that's tough. What
I
do you-
think from what I've heard people say,
Yeah.
I feel like it's when you start to think about this is movie talk.
Yeah.
Like when you start to think about the other person
Yeah.
before yourself
Yeah.
in situations.
Okay, well,
That's
I'm
what I've
currently
heard.
in love.
Okay, talk
Oh,
about it.
so-
Take the floor.
I'm currently in love, and I think, again, like people's experiences are quite different. But I think when you're in love with someone, the version of yourself that you give them is quite different. It's kind of on a different level. Like for me, I felt like, and it's gonna sound corny, but I guess in a sense, sometimes people might say when your person feels like home, or they're safe for you, or
Yeah.
you can be your unapologetic self with them. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Without judgment. Or it could just be that this person just has shown you things that you've never experienced before, or you felt things towards this person that you've never ever thought that you would ever kind of like divulge in.
Yeah.
So I think everyone will have a different interpretation of what love
Yeah.
feels like for them, or how they perceive love, or what love is to them. But I think for me, my relationship with my partner was very natural, and it happened very organically. Like, it was kind of to the point that we didn't really do the whole like, are you my girl, are you my boy, like type of thing. Like, it just happened. The relationship was just flowing, and before you know it, we were together for X amount of time, and that's when we were like, oh, like by this point we'd already been doing the whole love you thing. So
Yeah.
it was like one day we were kind of like, oh, like, he was like, you know, did I ask you out? And I'm like, no, I don't really think you did. But now you actually have to ask me out. But like, you know what I mean? I think when a relationship is very natural and very flowing, it's the best kind of version of a relationship that you could be in. So
Do you think time dictates that?
nah,
Yeah.
not at all.
I agree with that too. I don't think,
Not at all.
I think people think sometimes you've like, let's just say a year and a half dictates that now
You're
you're
in
in
love. Yes.
I actually find it weird when people are together and they, like, I know people that have been together for like a year and a half, and they're like, I'm like, when I ask them, like, so like, are you guys in love? They'll be like, nah. What do you mean? How the hell have you been with someone for 1 whole year plus, and you
you just-
don't know whether you love this person?
Nah.
I think it's a feat. Like, I get that. Like, okay, I was in love. Like, I
Okay.
still have a lot of love for this person. Like, on the respectful. Why are you guys laughing? Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Sorry, I don't want to. No, keep going.
No, but I was like genuinely like I was in a relationship for a very big chunk of my youth, and I'm very thankful for the experience I had with this person, despite other situations. But I feel like for me, when I knew like I love this person, I completely agree. It just happened. Like you just know.
Yeah.
It's just a feeling that you're like, yeah, like it just.
Yeah.
I don't even
Do you
have
think
the words.
is there a difference between I love that person and then being in love?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, but
That, like,
that's what they say.
being
Yeah, we're on
in
the
love with
sidelines for
someone
that.
and loving someone.
back.
Yeah. No, I agree. There is. There's
Yeah.
a difference.
Okay.
Massive difference.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? When you have a lot of love for someone and then you're in love with them, what's the difference?
Like, you can... Okay, I'll be honest. For me personally, I feel like with the person that I was with, I was in love with them for a long period of time. And then it got to a point where I was just like, I love this person, but it's not to the point where I'm looking at you now and I'm like, this is the person that I want to marry. And I think it's very normal to say that and to be honest about that, because it happens. And look, I feel like it's something that I actually began to realize post getting out of that relationship. And that's when I actually started deepening it, and I just thought about it and I was like, I think there wasn't love in that. Like, we weren't in love with each other for a long period of time.
Okay.
But we loved each other like as individuals, and we
Yeah.
learned to coexist in that situation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that can happen. Like,
Yeah. I think
when-
that happens a lot, to be honest.
it does. You get so comfortable and so used to being with like that individual,
Yeah.
you start confusing like loving that person, like having love for them, with being in love with them.
Yeah. Is that kind of like tolerating some? No, that's wrong. That's the wrong word. Not tolerating. Not tolerating.
I think sometimes it's just coexisting.
Yeah, it's coexisting. Yeah.
Like, you're comfortable, which is a very natural thing in relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Wow.
this has been very real, like very raw and honest. I
It's
think
been
we
an
should-
amazing episode.
I feel like we ended on a sad note, man.
I feel like we could have gone on forever. I had like a million more questions.
Yeah, guys, today's been such a dope conversation. We just want to say a massive thank you to Nigz for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Nigz. Shout out.
Our first guest.
Amazing.
We should
Beautiful.
get you like a cup or something that says the Left Out Podcast. You know, whatever. We'll come up with something. A thank you gift.
Yeah, exactly.
How was it? Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Yeah?
I did. I enjoyed it. I really didn't. I really did enjoy it. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I really did enjoy it. It was good. I feel like we dived into
A lot of
some
deep stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we really
Yeah.
did. It
Yeah.
wasn't kind of just, we didn't really just focus on one thing. There was a couple of things that we did focus on, which was good. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. kind of like talking like to your friends, really.
Yeah, no, honestly.
It wasn't really as stressful, so it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
I feel like I learned a lot as well.
Yes, I do.
What did you learn?
Oui.
I mean, you did say that you learned something, so what did you learn?
About, like,
We're trying to close it off.
No, your experiences with love and things like that. And
People's takes,
Nah, for real, you're actually very
And
insightful.
That's
like,
why we asked her to be on. Come on now.
Yes, thank
No,
you,
for
thank
real.
you.
Perfect
Don't.
person. You'll be back. You'll
Shoot.
definitely be back.
Nah,
on.
Definitely.
100%.
Round 2, shorty, I'm
Part two,
ready.
part two.
Let me know. Book me in.
You took our virginity today.
Well, this is a Left Out podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you, so
Thank you,
much for
guys.
tuning in.
Thanks.
Catch you next week.
Bye.
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 Gosh, my neck.
Ooh.